Hi, how you guys doing? I'm Shaman Ra, and I'd like to talk to you about something today. Matter of fact, I want to share something with you to make things really simple. You know, you hear the question, or you hear the term spirit, and you hear the term soul. So what is the difference between the spirit and the soul? Well, let me tell you today. So think of the spirit as a beautiful puzzle, 1,000-piece puzzle. Matter of fact, it could be even more pieces than that because the spirit is infinite. And it's laying on the table, and that table, or the actual picture, the actual puzzle then begins to lift off the table. And when the puzzle lifts off the table, it leaves an imprint on the table of every piece outlined. But now there's no picture. So think of it as the spirit is the puzzle that has risen up off the table, and the soul is each individual piece of the puzzle that is still outlined in the imprint of the puzzle. So just think about that for a second. So each soul then has its individual space as a blank piece that has to then learn its intricate detail so it can go back into that puzzle that is above it. So think of the above and the below, just keeping it real simple. The puzzle above is the spirit. The imprint below is the soul. And each piece of that puzzle as a soul is an intricate piece that has its own detail. And each piece put together makes the whole puzzle of the whole, which is the macrocosm. So the macrocosm is everything, and the microcosm is you. So if you're the microcosm and you have a blank slate and you're trying to create this intricate detail that is going to be a mirror of the macrocosm, or the piece that is in the macrocosm, how do you do that? And that's a real good question, because when we think about spirit and soul, the spirit is the ultimate, it is everything. And the soul is an intricate piece or expression of the spirit. And that expression of the spirit is literally that imprint that's on the table, trying to find its detail to go back into the spirit. So that's what you are. You are the actual imprint of the spirit. And understanding you being the imprint of the spirit means you're everything and nothing at the same time. We'll save that for part 2. So part 2 of the spirit and the soul. So we talk about the spirit as a puzzle rising up into the above, and then the imprint and the intricate pieces of that imprint being the soul. So why did the spirit leave the soul in the first place? Well, the spirit technically didn't leave the soul. I just use that as an example so you can understand that the soul is a part of the spirit. So this is what happened. Let's imagine that puzzle rises up into the sky. And what happens next, after the puzzle has risen to the sky, the soul now drops out. And it says, I am going to show you that I know my place. I know my part. I know every detail about me. So send me out. And I'm going to make this choice to show you that I can come back just the same as I left. However, when the soul jumps out of the spirit, everything is forgotten. That's when we become that blank canvas. And now the soul is lost and it's looking around. What do I do? What do I do? I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's happening to me. So why did I even do this? And then you remember, you left the spirit so that you could find your own way back to the spirit to show yourself that you are whole and that you know exactly who you are. And that's what we do during this human experience. We are remembering who we are. And that's the journey, that's the process. Now stay tuned for part 3, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the soul and its family. So I want to give you a little bit more detail about this little situation here, the soul and the spirit. So we asked the question again, why would the soul leave the spirit? Well, for many different reasons. But the main reason is to find itself. And when the soul begins to find itself, it can begin to express itself individually. When we have these individual expressions or thoughts of the spirit that seem to kind of break themselves off, they really don't break themselves off. They're really just individual expressions. Now, those individual expressions then basically have to find themselves. And they find themselves through actually expressions. And one of the main things that I use is music. All right, so the spirit is not broken off into millions of pieces. What it is actually individual expressions of itself. And individual expressions of itself can be explained through an analogy of a simple smile on the face. Like if I'm smiling and I'm using this muscle and I have dimples and somebody else doesn't have dimples, but I'm smiling, I'm expressing my feelings, but my look is different. Some people smile like this. Some people smile like this. Some people smile like this. You never know, but it's all expressions of a smile. They're all my smiles, and sometimes I can even take myself into a space where I'm actually smiling for somebody and I smile one way, and I smile for somebody else another way, and I kind of show a smirk another way. But all these are expressions of me. So using a smile is one thing, but these are individual expressions of me, myself. So the Spirit is no different, and the beautiful thing about this is we are mimics, mirrors of the Spirit. So as the Spirit basically expresses itself individually through souls, we are expressing ourselves individually through it. So it's so powerful. It's the above and the below. So we have to understand this when we're finding our journey back home. And that's what I want to talk to you all about next, is finding our journey back home. How does a soul find its intricate detail from that blank slate? Stay tuned. Well, the soul actually finds its intricate detail through its soul's family. Now, there are many different things we can talk about when we talk about the soul's family, and there are a lot of different philosophies. So I'm just going to give you one. You can kind of flow with it if you like it. You can do your own research if you like. But think of it like this. So we have come down from the spirit into the soul. Are we here alone? Are we supposed to find these intricate details by ourselves? The answer to that is no. What happens is we have an actual expression of ourselves called the monode, which is split into two, a masculine and feminine energy. And that masculine and feminine energy has 12 souls that actually are here to help to find and elevate us back into that centerpiece, into that monode. The monode is the ultimate part of us. The monode can be considered that one piece that's of the puzzle that we're talking about. But that piece then has a masculine and feminine energy. That masculine and feminine energy has 12 souls to help it find its piece. And those 12 souls have 12 souls to help them find their pieces. So now we have 144 souls trying to put together the details of one piece of the puzzle. So this is the beautiful thing about this. We're not here alone. If we can learn to just calm ourselves down, go into our heart space and begin to understand love and gratitude, then we can open ourselves up to peace and understand choice. And we always have a choice to choose if we want to be helped or not. And we're human beings. So we're here put in pairs, kind of like the monode, masculine and feminine energy. And we're here to help ourselves grow and to find our intricate details so that we can ascend back into the spirit. All right, so I'm just going to be real with you, 100%. This is a hot mess. The whole thing is a mess. And you got to think about it. It's like, how can God, how can Source, how can the Spirit be so confusing? But remember the above and the below. You got to think about this. We're the same way. Think about how you think thoughts during the day and how you move from one space to the next. And you're like, what do I do here? What do I do next? Well, if I do this, this could happen and that could happen. You could have 100,000 thoughts in a day and not act upon one of them. And then we get caught up in those thoughts constantly. What do you think the Spirit is doing? It's constantly thinking, but it's actually manifesting. So we're no different. So give yourself some grace. It's okay, because guess what? You're doing the same thing Spirit is doing. Believe that. So how do we deal with this clusterfuck? I'm just going to be real with you. There's 4 ways we can do it. Number 1 is going to be love. We got to love. We got to understand love and love unconditionally. This is not this bullshit love that's basically saying conditional. I love you if this, or I love you if that, I love this if that. No, it's got to be unconditional. So first thing is love. The second thing is gratitude, because when you can have gratitude for something, you literally open yourself to receive so much more. Having gratitude allows you to live in right now. And the next thing is you have to understand what peace is. And everybody's peace is different, trust me. And sometimes you have to find peace. You have to find what is your peace. So you have to do a little research. And then the big one, number 4, is choice. You have to understand it's your choice. Whether you love whether you have gratitude or whether you experience peace. So let's talk about how we can actually use these 4 different systems to help us find the intricate details. When we're talking about love, we're talking about gratitude, we're talking about peace, and we're talking about choice. Those are all different aspects of you. And you can be equated to a single note. One sound of frequency, and everything is created from sound. We all started from sound. So you are that beautiful single note. But within that note, you're looking for something else. You're looking for a pair, you're looking for a partner, you're looking for a group, a tribe. And when you find that tribe, you can understand the note that you are, you're playing. And when you find the intricate pieces of that note or partners of that note, then you begin to create chords. And when you begin to create those chords, you begin to create what we call harmony. The more harmony that we can create, the faster we can find those intricate details. It's all about harmony. And we find it fast when we pretty much just allow, let go, and we do it free. We don't put constraints on ourselves and we have to do this, we have to do that. What we begin to do is we just begin to allow, and we just allow ourselves to enjoy right now. We begin to find those different notes. And notes can be represented as people, they can be places, they can be things, they can be our career. It's whatever harmonizes with you. That is your note. You are a single note that is looking for many other notes to create chords. When you create the chords, you create the harmony, and the harmony creates the intricate detail of who you are. Be yourself. That's what harmony is.